Rev up your engines. We're gonna do a little comparison. This is a brand new 2021. Are they making them the same? Are they making them worse than they used to make them? As you can see, it's still made in Japan. It's still big, it's not downsized. Now, I happen to love these old style doors. To begin with, there's nothing up here that might conk you in the head. It's very convenient having a side opening door. It's perfectly set up too. You can lock it, unlock it. And being an SUV, of course, doesn't have a trunk, but it's got the nice hideaway. So you can hide stuff under there and people won't see it. Now, as you can see, there are actually third row seats. They're hiding under here, but they are awful small. You could call this a 3-row seat vehicle, but I personally wouldn't because they're really tiny in the back. This isn't a full-size thing. That's not why people get these. Now, one thing I noticed a few months ago when I was checking out a 7-year-old Lexus was the paint was a lot thinner than my wife's paint. I thought, gee, are they making them cheaper? So let's check this one out. We'll get my old paint measure here and we'll see how thick the paint is. In this case, it's 120. That's 122. Now, if you think about it, that's pretty amazing. That's because it's all done by computer robots. And they can get the right amount of microns on. No human being could ever do that spraying it on, right? It's all done by machines. They have that kind of consistency. It's a lot better than a 7-year-old one that I tested out before. Well, look at my wife's 20-year-old Lexus. As you can see, my wife's Lexus is 115. That's pretty close. So we'll check the hood out. The hood's 120. It's a 20-year-old car. Paint still looks like new because we polish it all the time. Now, of course, if you know me, I abhor these gigantic mouths. I don't know what it is with their design. It's like the kids screaming from Home Alone going down the road. I just don't comprehend why a luxury vehicle has to have this giant scowling mouth on it. I mean, look at my wife's Lexus. It's understated elegance. Nice chrome. A little mouth. Nice lights. Hey, that's class. And I guess the lesson here is monkey see, monkey do. They're all doing this now. Like, when as a kid in the 60s, they were all making fins. Eventually, they had these fins that were like 20 yards long, sticking out of the back of these Cadillacs. You'd be impaled on them if they backed up at you, you know? Now they're all doing the scowling thing. They just follow each other. I don't know, I just think it's crazy myself. Plus, if you really think about it, this isn't that aerodynamic. But then again, you buy a vehicle like this, it's not gonna be aerodynamic. Big SUVs with big old V8 engines in them do not get good gas mileage. Now, this owner knows. He says he gets 17 or 18. I've had many customers with these over the years. They had no idea and they didn't want to be told. They just knew they had to fill the thing up all the time, especially when they did stop and go city driving. They're gas hogs. There's no way out of it. High up in the air, so they're not all that aerodynamic because they're up too high, with a lot of weight and a giant V8 engine. And a massive rear end in the back. A real spare tire. Hooray for real spare tires. And it's even a fancy rim. It's not some cheapy spare. Now, he traded in a pile of junk. A good trade-in for it was a Nissan Maxima that already had an engine replaced. It was a pile of junk. And then he had to pony up 51 grand for these. Normally, you're going to buy one, it's going to be 60-something thousand dollars. They're not giving the things away. There's no arguing that. But still can last an extremely long time. Let's get the computer out, see what it says. We'll put the ignition switch on. Diagnosis, VIN number, auto scan, automatic scan. Here we go. And you can see it's scanning it pretty fast. These new systems are much faster than the older ones were. You can see it's going through absolutely everything. Look at all the stuff it's going through. So far, everything is normal, no problems. 2 to go, 1 to go. And normal, no problem. So let's check out some live data. And here we go. Everything's correct colors, nothing odd. Even though I just started it up, it's already in closed loop. Shows you how fast it gets in the closed loop. Warms up quick. Check it out. The short-term fuel trim, 0.000. Long-term fuel trim, 0.000. Bank 2, 0.000. The only thing is, the long-term fuel trim on Bank 2 Sensor 2 is a tiny bit, 0.781. So it's almost completely perfect. It's just off a tiny bit on one side. Oh well, even Lexus can't be 100% perfect. Now I realize with a car like this, there's data coming up the wazoo. And we're still in the A's. Check this out. This is how much data there is. These are the A's. La 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 la. La la la. This is all live data that you can mess around with. And we're still going. We're still going again. And we're still going. And we're still not at the end of it. Look at this. It's insanity, the information you can get out of one of these things. It's totally insane. Almost perfect. It's running. The average engine speed of the cylinders is 51199. Then we go to all the different ones. 51199. 51199. Let's see if any of them are any different. No, they're all exactly the same. So this engine is basically running perfectly. No, yeah, it's a new car. It's only got 15,000 miles on it. But it just showed you how well these things are still being made in Japan. They are built solid. Practically a perfectly running engine. So we're starting up, take it for a ride. Back it up. Nice view. First thing you'll notice, you're pretty high up in the air. Good thing it's got a backup camera. It'll keep me from hitting the neighbor's mailbox, which I hit before. It's a very high up in the air vehicle. You get a very good vantage point. And it's smooth. That's why they have V8 engines in them. Smooth power. Yet for something this big and heavy and tall, hey, it really corners quite well. It's not over or understeering, really. Of course, it has massive brakes when you gotta stop. Stops, no problem, no noise. We'll take it to our little drag strip. Got that V8 sound, and here we come to our little drag strip area. We'll just come to a stop out here in the country. Ready, set, go. It's one big heavy vehicle, but it gets up and goes. Smooth shifts. Powerful engine. But yes, if you drive like this all the time, you won't even get 17 miles a gallon then. It'll really go down. But I do hear a rattle. Ha! A rattle. That's just a stupid baby seat with no baby in it. Now, if it had a baby in it, it wouldn't be rattling. But then again, the baby might be screaming. I don't know which is worse. The rattle of the empty seat or a squalling baby. Take your pick. Now, I for one hope they keep these V8 engines in these Lexuses because there's nothing like it in this big SUV. Let's hope they don't go twin turbo like they are with the Tundras. Ruin a perfectly good truck that can last forever with a V8 by putting in a higher revving, fancy V6 twin turbo engine that even though Toyota's making, all turbo engines wear out faster. That's just the way that it goes. But really, for such a large SUV, hey, it's got no problems handling twisty roads. Very crisp handling. And for something this size, an extremely smooth ride. Now as you see under here, it has a solid truck frame, but it sure as heck doesn't drive like an old truck. It has a smooth ride. These engineers, really, they put their thinking caps on when they made the suspension system for this thing. You would have no idea that you're driving around a big old solid frame truck. It doesn't ride like those old trucks at all. It's an exceptionally smooth and well handling frame, suspension, wheels. They really designed this thing correctly. If you don't mind bad gas mileage, hey, this is the thing for you. So what did we learn today? They're still making Lexuses great in Japan. Now I did check out a Lexus 2007, wasn't made in Japan. The paint wasn't right, was too thin. This was made in Japan. Like I say, it makes a big deal of difference where a vehicle is made. I was totally impressed by the Toyota Corolla hatchback that I checked out in Rhode Island. And guess what? It was made in Japan too. They just have more quality. They stand behind it. The perfection of the paint. Hey, I'm thinking when this is 20 years old, the paint's gonna look like my wife's car. It'll still look new. As long as you keep the bird crap off of it and polish it and keep everything from staining the paint, hey, it can last a long time if it's built right. From what I see, they're still building excellent vehicles in Japan. You're gonna pay for it, but these days, you're better off paying more for something that's really good than paying a little bit less for something that's really crappy. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.